Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think overall our biggest problem is that this body has an opium addiction. It's a drug. OPM, other people's money. And you guys just cannot get enough. We have a debt of $38.6 trillion. Trillion dollars. It's 38, 12 zeros. 38 and 12 zeros. What cannot go on forever won't. H.R. 1, if anything, was a reckoning that you got to stop your opium addiction. You got to stop legislating money out of the pockets of citizens and into your own little pet projects. $38.6 trillion. H.R. 1 cut what? 1 trillion? It's the federal government saying to the states, it's time to cut the apron strings. And the opium addicted in here are having a royal hissy fit. Minus $186 billion out of rate price. So during COVID, you just kicked providers right in the teeth and said, we don't appreciate you whatsoever. And a lot of them left. And the ones that stayed, now you're saying our appreciation for you is to cut $186 million out of your wages. We're not going to cut $186 million out of here. We're not going to cut this building back to 90 days. We're not going to cut here out back to 90 days and maybe 3 bills or something like that where we could actually save the citizens money by, we could actually govern better by governing less. No, this building has not had its fill of opium. And it's going to get other people's money by hell or high water. We're not going to decrease anything like, I don't know, maybe $24 million for 1 month free in the mobile mugging centers. So you can keep pretending that you can develop your 15-minute cities, short walk cities with transit-oriented housing with Calcutta-style zoning.
Rep. DeGraaf, as much as I love when you talk about transit, if we could stick to HICPUF, that'd be great.
Well, they're all related. But we're talking about $24 million that could go towards these providers. But instead, the priority is to make 1 month free on the mobile mugging centers. And then we say, and you know what Colorado calls RTD? They call it reason to drive. And I'm just saying this because this is a pot of money. And the governor, when we looked at it last year, there was about $100 million in green initiatives. Green, green, green. The only thing green about green is that it's green. It comes out of your pocket. It comes out of the citizens' pockets, other people's money. So we're going to spend $100 million tilting at windmills, and then we're going to tell our providers, hey, thanks, but no thanks. Hey, thanks for sticking with Colorado. Thanks for sticking with Colorado when Bidenomics ramped up inflation by 22.5% over 4 years, devalued your wages by 22.5%, ramped up prices accordingly. 22.5%. That means if, say, just for easy math, you made $100,000, you lost $22,000 of buying power. But somehow this is Trump's fault. You need to get over your addiction to opium. You need to cut back. We've got $5 billion over time allocated, an extra $5 billion allocated to a high-speed train to nowhere, fast track to nowhere. An extra, when we looked at it, was it $7 million, like $300 per person. We're subsidizing RTD at over $2.50 per passenger mile because nobody wants to ride it. Yet we're going to cut the rates, so don't tell anybody that the providers are a priority when you cut them. And you say, hey, thanks for playing, now we're going to kick you in the teeth. It's not a priority. The providers that do this for us are not your priority because you would have prioritized them over something else, over the governor's pet projects, the green insanity. 100% of 33 degrees Celsius of 0.125 over 3,300, 0.00125. If you want to get into the other math, just for my friends over here, 1/2 of 1 drop in 20 Olympic-sized swimming pools of drops. That's what your priority is. I'm sorry I'm sorry. It took me 20 days to get to 1/2 of one drop in 20 Olympic-sized swimming pools full of drops. That's your carbon footprint. And that's why this body wants to cut $186 million out of provider rates. That's why it wants to cut the throats of these providers that have worked diligently for us in COVID, out of COVID, taking fixed wages, and then then the gratitude for basically having these fixed wages is for you to come by and say, we're just gonna knock them down a little bit, because inflation devalued your buying power by 22.5%. The energy prices. So stop pretending and stop saying things like these medical providers are a priority in the state, because they are clearly not. You do everything you can to kick them in the teeth. And at some point, they're going to be tired of it, because places like Wyoming are cutting their property tax. They're cutting their income tax. They're doing stuff that we would love to do, but you can't figure it out because you're addicted to opium, other people's money, and probably opium in general. So you keep punishing the citizens of Colorado because you cannot balance a budget, because you cannot rein in your proclivities for spending and reaching into somebody's pocket. The reaching into the pockets needs to stop. The money all comes from the states. Stop blaming Trump because you can't balance a budget, because you can't stop spending. We're here. We're on day, 20-something day of 120, and all we're going to do is spend more money in this room. Decide, no idea on how to cut any money out of the budget. All they've come up with is trying to figure out how to figure out, maybe if you're not home in your home for long enough, that they can figure out how to tax that. So yes, this is insanity, what you're doing to the providers. Yes, there's money that's out there. You have to have a priority, and these providers are the priority. Not the green grift, not the wolves, not the hellhounds, not the demon weasels and all those other stupid programs for the Chihuahua Clutch environmentalists. These are people. Yes, I said Chihuahua Clutch environmentalists. These are real people, and you are really hurting them with your really bad decisions and your opium addiction.